Hey everybody, welcome back. Have a lot of Predator movies here, and one's hidden. That would be Alien vs. Predator. Probably best to stay hidden, but I do have it. And we'll take a look at these, the packaging, talk about them, and wrap it up. So let's start with these. They're the Blu-rays, and let's push these aside for now, somewhat aside. And I don't even remember why I have this. Well, I do know why I have this, because it's just the type of person I am, and I tend to own some movies that I don't necessarily care for, but it completes the collection, and I get morbidly curious about my feelings, if they are the same after a certain amount of time, and did I really not enjoy the movie, and I go back and watch it to normally validate my feelings. So I haven't watched this in quite some time. I don't even know when this Blu-ray came out. That probably would have been the last time I watched it. It says 2004 here. That must be when the movie came out, right? Because I don't even think Blu-rays were a thing in 2004. Maybe they were, I don't know. But I saw this in the theater. It's directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, the lesser Paul Anderson, and who I feel starred out. His best movies were his earlier films. And I have a soft spot for the Mortal Kombat movie. Event Horizon, that's a cool movie. Soldier, I will watch. I like Kurt Russell a lot. And then I feel like this came after Soldier, and it's just, well, you know what? It's been probably 20 years since I've watched it, so I'm going off memory here, which really isn't reliable, but I was disappointed when I saw it in the theater, and I was disappointed when I watched it at home. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. If it gets a 4K release, I will foolishly purchase it, watch it, and get upset. But for now, I'll just kind of keep this in my collection for completionist's sake. Then we have AVP Requiem. I saw this in the theater as well. I think it was me and some other dude. Wasn't in the theater for very long, rightfully so. But this one, out of the two, I would actually rather watch Requiem. It's not a good movie, but I find it very amusing. It is very mean-spirited. It's incredibly dark. The cinematography is not good. It's very difficult to see creatures in this, but I can't help myself. There's a scene. This movie has the what you can see here, a predalien, an alien that infects a predator, or impregnates a predator, whatever the process is for that, and it finds itself in a maternity ward. Its way of reproducing is a little bit different than the traditional alien face-hugging experience, I guess. And it's very amusing. This movie has a real difficult time with time and distance. Like, I feel like I watched 30 Days a Night. That was another movie that it just felt like characters were teleporting to various locations based on what the story required, and this is the same thing. Everything's set in this one town that's being besieged by aliens and predators, and it just isn't interested in like continuity or any of those things. So I just find it an entertaining watch, but I would not recommend it to anyone. Like, you would have to be a real fan of this series to find some enjoyment in this, and even then it's questionable. It just happens to amuse me in a very specific way. So I would pick up a 4K of this much more enthusiastically than AVP. So then we'll put these aside. and take a look at Prey here. So kind of jumping ahead. Well, no, we're kind of just doing this in any random order, I guess, from the timeline perspective. So this was a few years ago. I'm trying to think. I don't remember. 2023? That sounds right to me. A couple years ago. And Dan Trachtenberg, that's his name, right? He also directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is great. And I don't know what else. That movie, this movie, Killer of Killers, and the aforementioned Badlands. But this is kind of out of all the Predator movies, this one is, I feel, the most reminiscent of the original. And it's very lean. We have this Comanche tribe here that is being stalked by a predator who is on the hunt, and that's the short of it. It does have a Comanche audio track. I still haven't listened to that. I really want to. Every time I go back to watch this movie, I just end up watching it in English once again, mainly due to the fact that this is a dub. It is the voice actors that play, it is the actors that play the characters in the movie that do the voice acting as well, but they didn't reshoot the scenes in Comanche, so it's kind of like watching, like an old Italian horror film or something where, none of the audio is recorded live on set. They're going back in and dubbing it with the actors actually that are in the movie doing the voice acting. So I'll be watching this again soon. Again, I just watched Badlands. I watched Killer of Killers. I've been meaning to revisit this, so that's an excuse for me to go back. Really awesome sound design, this movie. If you're into that stuff, it just sound. Actually, that reminds me, Badlands sounded amazing as well. Immersive audio, indeed, and again, just a very lean, to the point action movie that has a killer predator in it, and I like the heroine as well. She is pretty cool. So, put this aside, and finally we have this 4-movie collection, and it's a little surprising to me they haven't put out a 5-movie collection that includes Prey. Maybe because these are Fox titles, and then of course Disney purchased Fox, and from a distribution standpoint, I was talking about that doesn't make any sense. I'm sure Disney can quite easily put all these together in this package, and now you have Killer Killers and you have Badlands, so really they have 5, 6, 7 if you want to talk about the mainline Predator movies, and then you have these two over here. So there's 9 Predator movies. That's quite a lot. Keep them coming, though. I do enjoy these movies. There's 36, 38 MCU movies, so 9 Predator movies seems fine over 40 years or whatever it is. And let's take this out. So not really a hard case. It's kind of flimsy, actually. You can kind of see here. It could be a bit more rigid, but it's not bad. It's better than the Indiana Jones collection, and if anyone has that, which is really flimsy for the price. Back to the Future was another one, so I guess this is fine. It is a little bit on the chunky side. They do include Blu-rays for all four movies, so this is an 8-disc collection here, but I guess the Blu-rays are fine for a backup or something. So this has Predator, Predator 2, Predators, which is the third one, and The Predator. It also comes with the one-sheets, the movie posters for each one. So they did release these as individual standalone releases outside of North America. Predator got a release in North America, but I don't believe Predator 2 or Predators did. It's only in this bundle, or they did have a 3-movie collection, and then the Predator got its own release as well. But I think, I'm pretty sure Predator 2 and Predators as a standalone release should have to import if you didn't want the box case here. which I can understand because this case doesn't house the discs very well. They just consistently become loose in the case, which is really frustrating. So if you don't want your discs, become scratched, it may be worth the extra money just to pick them up individually. I guess it depends on what you get this for. I remember only paying like $30 or something for this. I got it on the cheap. I don't know how much it is today, or I think it's still available. I don't think this was like a limited release or anything. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, so we have The Predator. Soon the Hunt Will Begin. I saw this when I was a kid, like 6, 7 years old. Arnold Schwarzenegger was my hero. I had already seen Terminator, I'd seen Commando, and now it's Predator. My dad, I don't know, he was kind of not really concerned about what I was watching at all. My mom, when it came to what I was allowed to watch as a kid, basically the policy in my house was if I can watch it, then I can watch it. Like if I feel it's too intense, then I can bow out. I can make that decision. And it did lead to some traumatizing movies like Soldier Blue, which is inexplicably PG, I think. But Predator, I could survive Predator. If it had any TNA, though, my mom would want me to cover my eyes for that stuff. So interesting upbringing in that sense. But yeah, this was the coolest movie. It really made me fall in love with the Predator as well. I feel like anyone that's into action movies has seen this, but considering 1887 was a while ago, there's a chance that you may not have seen it. Absolutely holds up, worth watching for sure. Really amazing creature in the Predator. Obviously, we are pushing almost 40 years now, and it's just a really cool design. You don't know much about the Predator in this. It opens with a ship and like a capsule landing, and then you have this elite military unit that's being stalked by the Predator, and you hardly see him. Like he's cloaked for a good portion of the movie, and then it has an awesome unveiling at the end. The final battle between Schwarzenegger and Predator is, I feel, probably, I would say it's the best one in the series for sure. It's really awesome. That's just mainly due to Arnold just being such a physical presence. Predator 2, this is a cool poster too, man. I had something very similar to this in my bedroom, the Predator 2 movie poster. It wasn't this art here, it was like the actual, like a still from the movie with the Predator with the spear, and I thought it was the coolest thing. I have a soft spot for this movie. Danny Glover is the hero in this one. It also has Gary Busey in this, Bill Pax is in this, and it's very violent movie, and it takes place in LA. LA is like this war zone, which seemed to be pretty commonplace in like the early 90s. It just happened to be that way with the media, making you think if you go to LA, you're going to get stabbed in the head by a predator or something. So really like this one. Pretty cool poster here for Predators. I'm not a huge fan of this movie, but I do go back and watch it every now and again. I'm just not huge into Adrian Brody in this. He kind of plays like an Eastwood type, really low, tough voice. It's very derivative of the other ones. It's not very original. Neil Marshall was originally supposed to direct this, and he didn't. I don't know entirely why, but he just did Wolf, Dog Soldiers, and The Descent. I've always wondered what his Predators would have looked like, but it just has some really cool cinematography at times, but it was my least favorite until this one. It's hard for me to say because I really don't remember this movie. I saw it when it came out in 2018, and I just don't remember anything from it. Like, I remember being disappointed. It has like an alpha predator in it or something. It's very difficult to see the Predator soul and the Predator here. Very difficult for me to remember this movie. Shane Black directed it, so I expected great things. He wrote the original Predator. He wrote like Lethal Weapon. He's done a few movies. The Nice Guys probably being my favorite of his. But yeah, this was a big misfire for me. And then really didn't have anything until Prey came out. So Prey brought the series back in a really awesome way. So I'm glad it's in good hands now. So anyways, thanks for watching.